Good morning, everyone. Thank you all for joining with us in this session. May you be blessed with lots of compassion and opportunities as you start your new day. Good morning, my lovely audience. I am your host. I am Kamrul from Bangladesh. Ladies and gentlemen, I am proud to be associated with IGP as a global member. I feel delighted to welcome you all in our institution of global professionals. Before we have the topic is teaching, training, and learning process and STEAM education. Today, we have a speaker from Philippines. His name is Amujuri Vishwanath. He is an educationalist, teacher, trainer, and STEAM expert. And also, he is also a philosopher, author, artist, photographer, and journalist. Let's welcome our speaker through the screen. Hello, sir. Good morning.
Hello, good morning to one and all. Good afternoon, good evening to everyone across the globe. It is very great privilege and great opportunity to share my views on teaching, learning, and training and STEM education. It is very great gratitude to Institute of Global Professionals Bangladesh and founder President Kaushik Datta sir for inviting me as a guest speaker. This is Amujori Vishwanath, educationist from India.
Thank you, sir, for your introduction.
Shall I present?
So now you can start. Yes, sir.
Yes. Here, there's a great opportunity to share my views on teaching, training, and learning process and STEM education, science, technology, engineering, and mathematical education aspects. Being as a teacher and educator, I am working in the field of education through STEM. That means science, technology, engineering, and mathematics aspects. As a educator, teacher, I am also providing quality of education to my students across the globe. I am working as a teacher at Astha Vidya Mandir English Medium School at Dantewada of Chhattisgarh of India. As well as I am also International Teacher Liaison Officer at Space Foundation, Colorado, USA. I'm also honorary professor at International Internship University Global, and it is very great opportunity for me as a registered life member of Indian Science Congress Association, which is under Ministry of Science and Technology, Government of India. I'm also Chief Data Officer at Igniting Dreams of Young Minds Foundation Group of Companies India and Director CEO of Green Care Society India. I completed my MSc, B.Ed, PGDCA, Science Journalism, and graduation in Digital Preacher, as well as electronics and electrical. laboratory maintenance services. It is great privilege to share my views on teaching, training and learning process and STEM education. Education, how it deals our daily life aspects for our character building, nation building, and communicational building. So learning process is main component as well as teaching process. To collaborate teaching and learning process, another component training which builds the correlation between the all of them. So it is either in personal or either a group or either international. So it is main components of education sector, teaching, learning and training aspects. So here are different slides for collaborates for with different school education, higher education, and personal or interpersonal and communal education systems. So in this aspect, teacher is main component as well as learner. That means student. Both they are very important components for in this aspect for providing all this quality education must be built entire the aspects. So in 2015, United Nations established 17 goals that are global goals. Among them, number four, sustainability development goal number four is quality education. It is aimed to provide and fulfill all the aims in the sector of education up to 2030. We are working in this field to fulfill all the aspects of quality education as a global goal. So we have to work for this to provide quality education to all across the globe. So it emphasizes quality education to different aspects, platforms like learning the environment, content based through the process, and how we can put the inputs and outcomes output sides through the teaching learning process as a learner, teacher, and trainer. Teaching is the main component in this aspect as teacher teaches the people through different platforms for gaining knowledge and build a good environment in the sector of education. However, I am from India, so I'm presenting small education system in India. So it is different aspects through skill based education, knowledge based education, training based education from early child of education at lower classes level, that means primary level to middle level, secondary level and higher secondary and higher education. This education system deals with school education system and higher education system from global educational systems. So, Indian education system aims for providing good quality of education to all the learners in India with collaboration with other platforms across the globe. So, India is very ancient country in the globe. How? The Gurukula education system, which is organized by different saints in our past history in the education system of India. People lend their knowledge through the Gurukulas, how they are getting training and how gurus provide that education through the practical based or learning by doing methods. From there to now in modern era, India reached to present education system, that is digital education system or classroom based education system. Government of India and all state governments also providing good quality of education, different platforms to the concern of government of India and concerned states educational policies. Indian constitution also provide for all the rights for providing education as a fundamental right. We are also following all these laws and rules guidance for providing education system. In modern era, India also providing good quality of education system through digital and classroom management. What is traditional education and what is modern education? Traditional education is teacher centered, subject specified knowledge, one way transfer of knowledge, passive and limited courses. And this is entirely theoretical. But in modern education is learner centered. That means who are learning, they are involving broadly. And subject specific and skill based knowledge undergoes in this education system. And multi-way interactive engaging process and conceptual practical learning by doing methods are involved in modern education system. So learning styles, there are different styles of learning. Among them, I'm showing different components and different types: seeing, hearing, thinking, and feeling. There are four aspects for learning skills and for learning and communication to among the peoples through either visual, auditory, and reflective and kinetic. So among them, people should be smart or either in group or either in self and a linguistic basis, that means language based system, that means word smart, and logical thinking, which deals for logic smart, and environmental aspects as a nature and different uh, recreation or interpersonal skills like music and public smart. So these are also learning style depends on the learner how they are learning or how they are acquiring the knowledge. So another visualize and bodily kinetic eyes and interpersonal, naturalize, musical and linguistic. All these aspects are also important for student or learner in this process of learning process. How teens learn from different aspects in different ways at school level, different methods and different platforms, either in social, solitary, and physical and verbal, and another is audio visual. So all these platforms are important for gaining knowledge or learning different concepts through the different activities, physical or psychological through the good communication skills. Learning is main component in the process of teaching learning process for the educational sector. The level of learning is must important how it receives from the learners and the teacher who are training the entire the system. This undergoes to different measurements like inputs and process and outputs through the different sources, resources and implementation aspects through the good plan of action. And student learning process is more important with the collaboration of through for development of either leadership or partnership and regional support from the different organizations through the community or institutional or self learning. And there are different process different aspects for learning process, so we are here for discussion for different aspects like in collaboration discussion and feedback and reflection, and guided from the guider as a teacher trainer, and explicit and demonstration methods either in experimental through the lab oriented aspects or experimental methods for from group to individual or individual to the group. This is the main components for learning process. For learning we have to give some tips or uh, strategies for giving the teaching process or providing the knowledge through teaching and training. So there are six strategies to promote deep learning. They are Socratic seminars to organize like webinars, symposiums, and workshops for sharing knowledge in group based. Another is clarity. We have to mention very clarity on the concept what we are delivering, what we are sharing to others. Another is question formulation technique. That means questionnaire formats like quizzes or interaction through the questions and answers. Another one is reciprocal teaching. That means teaching should be two ways from the learner to the teacher and teacher to the learner. Another main strategy is Bloom's twist and Bloom's strategy for education. And last one is tied learning targets. That means we have to target what we are learning and what we have to learn for entire the system. There are six learning strategies for deep learning. Among them, and beyond that, there are seven types of learning styles for normal aspects through the visual or audio visual, oral, and verbal, physical, that means kinesthetic, and logical, that means calculation through the mathematical aspect, aptitude aspects. Another one is social, that is interpersonal. We have to social with individual to the group, that means community based. And last one is solitary, interpersonal, that means intrapersonal. So both social interpersonal teaching learning and solitary intrapersonal teaching learning are the importance for acquire the knowledge. All these seven styles are more important for teaching learning process. Now there are different action plan of actions for academic teaching and learning process. through the planning, teaching learning components, and assessing. Another one is evolution. All four steps are important for create good environment in the field of teaching learning process. So we have to conduct good plan of action. Through them we have to teach the people in good way and access the resources and sources. After that we have to evaluate how the learner gain the knowledge, and this evaluation section is important, how the teacher also providing the knowledge to the people. This evolution process emphasizes to the level of teaching and learning, and learning process easy for students, how there are four steps or follow the different teaching instructions from the teachers or trainer. Another one's pictorial or video representation. Learners should learn from the audio visual aspects which are presenting through the motions. Third one is mnemonics is also a memory enhancing technique. That means we have to memorize some key points to correlate one topics to another topics. Another is fourth last one is motivation greatly, which helps from individual to another individuals to live their dreams, aims. So motivation, encourage is the most important for teaching learning process. So there are four easy steps for students or learner to catch the or acquire the knowledge from the teacher. Among them, there are different concepts like that, either in classroom or outside the classroom. Teaching lesson learner process emphasizes in main three components. One is input, another is classroom process, another is output. So teachers should be characteristics or students should be characteristics in good way in for the input. After putting the our concepts, the process should be in good way as a teacher behavior, student behavior, or other, that means management behavior. So this depends on school or institution or either management for the process, how they are dealing entire the environment, entire the platform. Then only we get good outputs from the students and other aspect who are involving external to the teaching learning process. For this there are different components are involving, or different environments are involving, like state policies or national policies for education, religion, and movies which are impact on the learners, teacher for the education system, peer groups, school processes, community involvement, and family involvement, and international collaborations for developing in school education system and higher education system. So all these factors are more important for influencing the teaching learning process. And there are different types of teaching methods, how teacher centered, student centered, in high technological uses like digital process peripherals, computer knowledge, and low technologies. Low technologies also important in the classroom management, like chalk piece or duster and marker process for the textbook oriented in the classroom. So all four types are important for teaching methods for teacher and learning skills for the learner. In this aspect, there are different technologies or affecting teaching, how teaching affects through a different concepts. For the effective teaching, there are personality based responses and content, that means syllabus, curriculum should be good, and pedagogical knowledge also important for the effective teaching, and as well as extension of self, that means teacher should be extends beyond the classroom, that means teacher should go beyond the class and bring the knowledge platforms to the learner from different external platforms, and teaching competency traits and strategies also more important for effective teaching for teacher, teaching with different aspects or different peripherals through the technology based, that means digitalized or either high technology involvement through the different platforms for student, instructor or teacher, content and technological peripherals. So there are different levels for content is should be cognitive levels and disciplinary levels, and technology should be different uses either in digital or either in high technological for communications, and instructor should be role as a teacher, trainer and skill based or time availability and knowledge based teacher. Students should learning styles, follow the learning styles and obtain the entire the technological access of process and technological skills. So all these sectors are important to collaborate and correlate with the teaching with technology. So in this modern age, technology also more important day by day. Science and technology as increasing, we are also using different main technological innovations and inventions in the process of teaching learning in the education sector. So, among them, the improvement of classroom and school effectiveness. That means institutional effectiveness. What are the platforms? What are the environmental aspects for the improving the classroom management system? There are different concepts, they are correlated, interrelated to each other, like school climate should be good either in academic emphasis or orderly good environment for the success. Another is leadership, that means management should be good for deal or manage all the environment in the educational sector through the modeling, feedback and counseling and building the educational aspect through their leadership qualities for the teacher management or either student management and the institutional management. This depends on the management who are chair in this management authority. Another is supervision. That means management or teacher or principal or either leader should supervise entire the classroom, entire the teaching learning process through the different fields like entrance, diagnosis, technical success, personals and professional meaning and recognition and different workshops, symposiums. The supervision must important to analyze and evaluate the entire teaching learning process. And another more important is teacher behavior. Teacher should behave in good way for providing knowledge through communicating teacher and people good relation. And students should also good relation with the teacher and communication for in the aspects of teaching learning process. Then only a student can gain good knowledge and obtain good technological uses or traditional knowledge from the teacher. Then only we can achieve entire the success or output for student achievement or institutional achievement. These all the effective process are important for classroom management or either in beyond the classroom management. what their pedagogical transformations, how innovative pedagogical transformations for teaching learning process. There are different innovations for teaching learning process through the equal knowledge and equal weightage of the content syllabus and backless days, that means digitalization process, use and integration of technology as per modern classroom management system, and promotion of peer tutoring, integrated pedagogical process through the arts, sports, storytelling, music, and ICT integrated pedagogical system, and experimental learning, that means research and development methods through the practical based for the innovation sectors through new invention and innovations for teaching learning process. So these are main important components for the providing good quality of education through innovations and technological based pedagogies. So multiple intelligence are very important. How we can build our character, our platform, our relationship with our friends, with our teachers, with our community members. So these are depends on how we are accessing the platforms through the multiple intelligence through either musical, kinesthetic, interpersonal, linguistic, or knowledge communicational based, or aptitude mathematical, naturalist, and audiovisual aspects. So these are the important platforms. Among them, how teaching and learning how different. That means teaching versus learning how different differentiate to each other. Teaching can be lesson plans. That means plan of actions. It also deals with neat, orderly, sequentially, step by step, and managefully and documented. All this teaching process have to the proof of teachings through the documentation with the clean objectives. But learning can be understanding, either it may be non documents or non proofs, it may be imagination process. However, learning can be obtained from teaching process beyond the classroom, like imagination from global platforms. It is irregular process and it is non-linear. That means it is not a certain way. It is group messy with the different complex. That means we can learn as per our learning interest or as per our learning levels. We can learn anything, anywhere, anytime. That is depend on our understanding or interest. There is no any bond, or there is no any circumstances, though there are no any rules and regulations for learning. And teaching versus learning, where teaching is the process of imparting knowledge and instruction, where learning is acquisition of knowledge, behavior, skills, values, all these aspects. For teaching, people can teach something to others, even unconsciously. But for learning, there should be good lives, either conscious or unconscious. For teaching, always linked with the learning and learners. But for the learning, one does not need to be taught to learn something. That means it is scopeless. That means it is no any boundaries. That means there are no any limitations for learning. We can beyond the classroom. We can go outside of the textbooks. We can learn through the our life systems for our according to our needs. For this aspect, teaching and learning methods are more important. How teaching and training also emphasizes. As part of teaching and learning process, how training impacts on teaching learning or learning process. Teaching in the process of education to the person one to one between the teacher and student or teacher to group system, but training is a technical frequently used in organizational to build a person's skills, knowledge, attitude in order to meet acceptable standards of specific platform, specific industries or particular organization. Training may be scope or may not be scope. According to the training, it has some curriculums, some strategies for the particular task, and it has also training aspect which has no any particular strategies. We can train for commonly which is apart from the teaching. So training deals with different aspects. Training correlates with the teaching, and teaching also correlates with the training. How training undergoes with the coach or coaches or skill-based education platform or mentorships for education system for instructions, learning, knowledge, different programs like workshops, symposiums, and all these activities through the motivational skills, advertising, developing an ability on the capability of learner or trainees who are getting training from the trainers. So all these aspects are important for the training. All are important as well as teaching learning process. Training also more important for the learning process. So learning versus training. What are the difference between the learning and training process? Training and learning process depends on the performance. That means it correlates with for the performance for input as well as output. That means output depends on input, how we are giving, how we are putting in the process of training or in process of learning. So performance is more important to create values, and learning is also a valuable, powerful builder of capabilities. And training is an activity. That means we can do learning by doing methods that is involved for the training. Among them, passionate teachers. How teachers can train, how teacher can teach through the different effective knowledge aspects, beliefs, goals, and understanding the concepts. Use their knowledge as a subject matter or another outside of the subject matter by the using of textbooks, different sources, different resources. So, teachers should be passionate for the teaching and training process. What is the difference between training and teaching? That means teacher and trainer. Teaching may be and train or training may be practical or learning by doing methods. Interactive improves behavior or overall development of the institution or the organization, or it involves with the through the games activity methods. But teaching is a theoretical linear. That means learning by understanding methods and improve the knowledge only, and academic excellence for the evolution process or involves through the writing, learning, and listening skills, SLR skills. How teacher differs for the trainer. Teacher is someone who teaches to the people or to the students, where trainers is someone who trains by doing method, by experimental method. Teacher impacts theoretical knowledge when trainer impacts on practical knowledge. And teacher teaches concepts and theories through the bookish knowledge, but trainer provides the knowledge or technical practical based skill based training. So these are the different aspects. That means teacher may be theoretical or sometimes maybe practical, but trainer is 100% involves in practical knowledge or skill based knowledge. For this collaboration, teaching learning process, school is the main component or educational institution organizes in the main components to emphasize community institutions, families out of the schools like programs, adventures programs, skill based program, socio-economical aspect, socio-cultural aspect, and socio personal aspects, and employers and business which also impacts for the economical growth for the schools, and health and social protection agencies also more important. However, when we are very healthy, then we can only we obtain our knowledge through different program. So health is where also very important. For keep healthy is main important for the all the learners. So among them all these school undergoes or to collaborate all these aspects through either in personal or in their group. So educational institutions are more important in the platform of teaching learning process. For teaching learning process or teaching learning training process, there are four components, four mainstreams which collaborate to the another stream like STEM education. What is STEM education? STEM stands for science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. Basically, it is main science group categories. For understanding STEM education, which involves entire basics and foundations and applications of the science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. We will discuss about basic and understandings of STEM education. This STEM education also how it collaborates to the arts. That means how STEM changes to the STEAM. That means methods of arts plus science. That means discover, challenge, involve your perception, create objective or measurements, and understanding the context or design and solve the all the problems or design the all the strategies to solve the challenges or solve the problems. However, STEM emphasizes to the arts also, that means STEAM, science, technology, engineering, arts, and mathematics. However, we are frequently use STEM, but also it is also can be used to the STEM changes to the STEAM. So in modern era, modern teaching, learning, training process, STEAM and STEM education system is more important for learners. So STEM learning ecosystem, how it impacts to the learner or student through the STEM education, through either school from early childhood to higher secondary school, and out of the school programs or communicational based or community socio cultural socio economical aspects, and in for higher education or either in graduation or post graduation on doctoral and doctoral postdoctoral programs, and business communities and STEM based institutions like research institutions and families. That means involvement of families, supporting of families, peers, supporting of brother, sisters, father, mother, and relatives. These are also main important for acquiring the STEM education impacts on the student. So how we can define the STEM framework? That means science, technology, engineering, and methodist education system. How it defines for the different frameworks through the real world or video, audio, video, visual stage. Another way is discuss on the big idea as a essential questions. Think big or do divergent. Another is follow the grasp model. That means we have to follow different models or strategies, plan of actions, and create the product what we have to use. What are the important for the STEM education? Last one is assess. That means understanding the skills and competences and all the knowledge for the STEM education system. So there are five frameworks for the good STEM education system. However, STEM education system deals with 21st century skills, science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, which correlates with the 21st century skills like self-directed learning skills, innovation skills, problem solving skills, collaboration skills, creativity skills, and entrepreneurial skills and spiritual skills. All these skills are more important for STEM education through the goal setting, self planning, self monitoring, self evolution, and revision, as well as group activities. So, these are the more important for the aspects.
Dear participants, sorry for the interruption. Maybe our speaker facing some technical problem. After the presentation, we proceed to our quiz competition today. For today quiz competition code is IGP quiz. In the meantime, I requested to our participants to share this session to your Facebook friends and your community and different groups. Our mission is spread education to everyone. For that, you have to share this webinar to your friends, community, and different types of groups. The question for our participants is: what did you learn from today's presentation? Dear participants, we proceed to our quiz competition session. After that, we come back to our speaker again. So let's enjoy our video, then we start our quiz competition. Our speaker may be in facing some technical problem. After quiz competition, we come back to our speaker again with our presentation. For participating that quiz, you have to go to our web www.slido.com and the code is IGP quiz. After the quiz competition, we come back to our speaker again with our presentation. Now start the presentation. Outcome in education and training can be considered as the learning environment competence achieved by the learners. 95% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is competences achieved by the learners. On the leaderboard, Jenaline now leading the first position. Our next question is, one of the components of the learning process aim at managing the educational. Is it teaching or educational work? 70% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is teaching. Again, Jenaline now leading the first position. Our next question is, according to the age characteristics of students, the module of education and training correspondence, is it gifted children to evaluate and teach learning or assessment and critical thinking for learning and learning? Only 5% to evaluate and teach learning. Our next question is, what are barriers to learning? Is it learning barriers can be physical or mental, or learning barriers can be non-cultural? 90% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is learning barriers can be physical and mental. On the leaderboard now, Carmilla leading the first position. Our fifth question is, the objective of training are the assimilation of knowledge skills or the use of dialogue forms. 100% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is assimilation of knowledge and skills. Again, on the leaderboard, Carmilla leading the first position. Our next question is, evaluation should be dash the curriculum process. Is it ongoing all the time in or the initial step in the 86% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is ongoing all the time in. On the leaderboard again, Kanmila leading the first position. Our next question is type of question to support student learning. Is it difficult testing or motivation testing and redirection? 100% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is motivation testing and redirection. On the leaderboard again, Kanmila leading the first position. Our next question is specific form of training organization include conversation, excursion story, or elective lesson and excursion. Only 25% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is elective lesson and excursion. On the leaderboard now, Michelle leading the first position. Our second last question is the main function of the lesson is education aimed at the acquisition of a certain 6 IP range of knowledge or development of cognitive activity. 74% of our participants and 60% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is aimed at the acquisition of a certain 6 IP range of knowledge. Our last and final question is the structure of a smart learning outcome consists of a stream, active verb, object and condition, or a verb, assignment method, object and subject. 47% of our participants give the right answer, and the answer is a stream, active verb, object and condition. Congratulations of our top 10 participants. On the leaderboard, Michelle leading the first position, and second position is Mark Joshua, and the third position is Jimelin. Thank you all the participants for participating our quiz competition. Now we come back to our speaker again with our presentation. Hello, sir.
Hello, sir. Am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible. Sir, open
Yeah,
your
yeah.
camera.
I'm sorry for my presentation for disconnecting due to technical issue. Apologies for. I'm reconnecting again, sir.
Okay, sir. No problem. Sir, open your camera, please.
Yeah, yeah.
Quiz competition certificate will be posted on our Facebook page. You can download it from our page. Sir, are you okay?
Yes, sir. I'm okay. Just I'm presenting, sir. I'm opening the connecting the.
Dear participants, after quiz competition and presentation, we proceed to our question and answer session. Hello, sir.
Yes, sir.
Share your screen, please.
Yes, I am sharing, sir.
Sir, if you face any problem, you can proceed to our question and answer session time.
No, sir, I'm sharing just to it, sir. Here, just yeah. Is it visible?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, yeah. Also, Sorry for interruption for technical issue.
Thank you, sir. You can start your presentation now.
Yes. There are different skills for 21st century skills which collaborates with STEM education. So, self-directed learning skills, innovative skills, problem-solving skills, collaboration skills, creativity skills, entrepreneurial skills, and spiritual skills. These are skills for good quality of STEM education. So, among them, another setting goals are also here for STEM education, like goal settings, self planning, self monitoring, self evaluation, and revision process. So, all these aspects are important for STEM education. How we are how we are dealing STEM education, either different methodologies like modern methods and traditional methods. How STEM education deals with modern methods through questionnaires, experimental methods, and conclusion methods. That means output outcomes methods through the observations, hypothesis, analysis, experimentals, learning by doing, research, and development aspects. But in rational method, we can also emphasize the STEM education through reading process, memorize process, practice process, and recite and grading evolution process. So we can through the modern methods and traditional methods we can learn the STEM education skills. So there are different teaching learning methods based on STEM education. That is STEM based teaching learning process. How Permata method, E3 method. That means three is explore, experiment, and experience methods. And STEM methods, that means I E3 plus E aspects and three C's. That means collaborate, create, and communicate. That means all three E's and three E's including inquiry. That means I method. That is IEC. This method is called IEC, which is based on STEM education for teaching learning methods. This is the main and good method for acquiring the STEM education through teaching learning process, either learning based or either teaching based the knowledge. Another STEM ET vision. ET vision means educational technologies, where which type of technologies are used for education sector that deals in STEM ET vision. That means framing STEM and entrepreneurship, teaching and learning with the STEM education, and curriculum based for STEM education, and teaching learning strategies for STEM education, and community or industry engagement. That means apart from the classroom, we have to engage with the community and social for industrial or another external education institutional engagement should be also important for good STEM education through the education technology vision. and learning literacy for all students. So learning is more important for STEM education through the literacy process, either distributive leadership and support or community families or partnership supports and curriculum and instructional support and professional development or planning support or assessment exhibition or evaluation process support. So all these support should be there for good STEM education literacy for the people. And STEM education for all aspirants, or there are example how Australian are taking STEM education in their country. This is some example in advanced country like USA, UK, Australia, and India. How they are taking STEM education among the young aspirants. A framework should be in the form of action. The STEM practices through ideas, values, and methods. Methods may be research methods, innovation methods, and conceptual methods, decoding, encoding, informational methods. And ideas should be processing, designing, exploring, challenging ideas. That means innovative ideas should be involved in the STEM education for facing the challenges or solving the problems through questionnaires, finding the problem aspects, or a playway method, or either in solving methods. Ideas should be innovative and methods should be good, and good plan of actions which emphasizes for the resultant values as a good. That means values deals with curiosity, integrity, imagination, creativity, teamwork, and persistence, and individual contributions also. So all these three pillars of STEM education: ideas, methods, values, how STEM education is going on in developed countries. Apart from that, there are different unconventional STEM careers. How we can build STEM education as a career? How we can involve in STEM education as a career through different platforms, either for employment or either educational or either learning aspects through the ethical hacking, which is providing through legal hacking called as a ethical hacking, and molecular gastronomy, drone pilot or drone technology, or industrial psychological aspects, video games, designing different apps, softwares, and urban engineering for construction aspects, and cartoonography, designing games or cartoons. So apart from that, all these careers, there are different another careers like in teaching, learning process, or manufacturing of technological peripherals, and career in constructions, career in movie industries, career in audiovisual sectors through the STEM education. And we can also create good platform as a career through the STEM education in research, development, and innovation sectors. Different sectors like health, transportation, industrial, education. So STEM is the more important nowadays in modern education system or modern technological era, 21st century or upcoming days. So science, technology, engineering, and mathematics, including arts, is the more important for our daily life, day by day, according to our need, according to our climate, or according to our environment. So I am giving a small example how my education city, how my education institution where I am working as teacher at Astha Vidya Mandir English Medium School, which is located in education city called Sri Atal Bihari Vajpayee Education City at Javanga, Dakshin Bastar, Dantewada district of Chhattisgarh state of India. So this is the uh, education city and school which is established by government of Chhattisgarh in 2013 to providing quality of education through the STEM education for the local students, local children. So, Astha Vidya Mandir is a good platform for providing STEM education. How this is the involvement either in classroom or in the science lab or student participation in different activities and assembly halls for taking oaths and taking pledge, taking prayers for fulfilling their aims and goals for upcoming days and through the learning process. So these are the involvement of the teachers and the students in the different aspects through the communal based involvement or classroom management or classroom involvement or different activity based teaching learning process. So these are the government officials from our district administration, Honorable Chief Executive Officer Sri Akash Chikara sir, CEO of District Panchayat of Dantewada, and Subdivisional Magistrate Sri Avinash Misra. Both are the IAS officers of Dantewada district in inspecting our science lab, models of science, technology, engineering, and mathematics-based models, STEM education-based models, provided as a guidance by me as a mentor, as a guide for Inspired Award, which is provided by Government of India, Department of Science and Technology. Through the innovations, our children also take participating different aspects for promoting the STEM education. So this is the overview of my school, where we are providing quality of education and STEM education through the teaching learning process. So this is the my presentation. Thank you very much, one and all who are watching through the live from Facebook, StreamYard, and YouTube platforms. Especially, I am providing my gratitude to Kaushik Datta sir, founder of IGP, Institute of Global Professionals, Bangladesh, for providing me wonderful opportunity to share my views on teaching, learning, and training process and STEM education, to share my activities and views on this topic today as part of speaker delegate webinar for IGP. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir, for sharing your valuable experience with our participants, and thank you from IGP platform.
So, is there any questionnaire sessions? Audience can ask me any your doubts, questions for exchanging knowledge.
Okay, sir. Dear participants, let's we proceed to our most awaited session, that is question and answer session. After the short video clips, we come back to our speaker again. Thank you. welcome back again. Dear participants, it's our question and answer session time. You can send your question in our comment box. Sir, our first question from Amy Belin Wapiri. Good afternoon, sir. Can you describe what is GRASP model in the STEAM framework? And thank you.
Hello, am I audible?
Yes, sir. You are audible.
Yes, yes. This is a good question from audience. Evan Lee Wapper grasp model is more important, especially STEM framework, which is dealing with innovative and technological approaches with clarity, realizations, and awareness, and self learning, and personal growth aspects. That means we have to clarity on certain content and realizations. That means what we have to do and what we can do for particular curriculum, and awareness should be there, particular topic what we are to be learned and what we are learning, and self learning skill is more important for STEM education, as well as the personal growth. So personal growth through the involvement of new skills like 21st century skills, we can develop either interpersonal or community based. So graphs model also very useful for STEM education, which is proposed by Rajan Jala Jalajel. Very good way for establishing the STEM education. So this STEM education framework graphs model is very dealing emphasizes deep learning through the teaching learning process, either it's self or either communal participation through the awareness and learning skills for STEM education.
Thank you,
Yes.
sir. Dear participants, if you have any question, you can freely ask the question. Our speaker already ready to answer the question. Dear participants, we are still waiting for our next question.
Any more questions from audience?
No, sir, maybe we have no more question. Thank you so very much, sir, for joining with us and sharing your valuable knowledge with us. I hope our participants also very helpful from your presentation. They can use these for, for their career and studies. Thank you very much, sir.
Thank you very much, sir, for providing a wonderful opportunity in the platform of your organization as in the banner of IGP, Institute of Global Professionals, as a guest speaker from India. And you are also doing very wonderful, good, great job, sir, for providing wonderful opportunities for all the educators, professionals for exchanging their knowledge and experiences through your organization. It is very great gratitude to you, sir, from my side for providing wonderful opportunities. And thank you very much, speakers, for good, calm listening and watching my presentation. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Dear participants, today our program name is Teaching Training and Learning Process and STEAM Education, and the program code is IGP 3876. The program code is IGP 3876. You can download your certificate from our website. Our website name is eduigp.com. eduigp.com. For downloading your certificate, you have to create an account on our website. Then you can download your certificate. Thank you very much, participants, for joining with us. Without without code, no one is eligible for certificate. With code, you can claim your certificate from our website anytime. And without an account on our website, you can visit only, but you can't do anything functionally. So download your certificate, you have to go to our website. Our website name is eduigp.com, and the program code is IGP 3876. Thank you very much.